I'm Katie.
Hi, I'm Alini.
And welcome to
Tea with Friends.
All right, Alini, it has been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been over a month, Katie.
I know, it's really bad. I'm really sorry. It has been a while.
Well, you know what? May and June are really busy times.
May and June were crazy for me.
Yeah.
And
mostly
then
May.
Alini and I had recorded one. And guess what I did? Spencer, guess what I did? I formatted my memory card by accident. Ooh. It was super, super cool, super, super fun. Anyways, happy to be back.
Yeah, so happy to be back. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, even you and I haven't seen each other that much.
No, because I've been out of town so much, too.
And same here. We have a lot to catch up on, friends.
Traveling the world.
I'm even wearing part of one of my travels.
I know. What do you want to share? What have you been up to?
Well, let's start with our trips. So, the first trip I went on was a Napa trip.
Yes.
Also, if you hear me lispy a little bit, it's because I have Invisalign in. So, that's an update. Well, I have Invisalign in.
You just pooped.
What?
One of the three dogs just pooped.
And all over, everywhere.
Oh my God. Is it hard?
Yeah.
Okay. There's bags by the front door hanging up. All right. So we're back. You went to Napa.
Yeah. So I went to Napa with Des and Holly, and it was super fun. We have to go sometime. We had a blast. We went to a couple different wineries, but our favorite was Prisoner.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So I thought I hadn't either, but it turns out I had one of their wines because my friend Andrew gave me a bottle of wine for my housewarming years ago. And I keep all my bottles of wine, right, like the nice ones, up on my kitchen. And I recognized there's Zinfandel bottle, but I didn't know where it was from.
Right.
So, yeah, it was really cool. We became wine club members at Prisoner, and so Holly did Prisoner, and we were splitting it, and then Des did Alpha Omega.
Ooh.
Which is also really nice. And then I want to become a wine club member at Pistoni because their wine was so good. And they're super family friendly. They have a really pretty picnic area, and it's very casual. It's a great way to kind of start your day. Prisoner was the first one we went to, and they're a little bit more on fancy side. They're very industrial chic. We did the food pairing with that one, and that was fun. Really yummy. Yeah. So if you ever want to go on a Napa trip, stop by Prisoner.
Well, to piggyback your Napa trip, I went to Portland to visit my sister and her boyfriend, and we went wine tasting in Willamette Valley, which is I think it was an hour and a half. I don't remember the name of the winery we went to, but we also did a food pairing wine tasting, and it was so cool. And they were showing us on a map where the grapes were, the kettle is going, where the grapes were on the map of their property. So it was super fun. And we had 6 wines, and then you had 3 cheeses and 3 meats. And she's this goes well with this wine and whatever. And it was really easy to follow, because I feel sometimes those special wine things aren't super easy to follow. You have to be what's the word? A sommelier? Yeah, you have to be sommelier, whatever it is. You have to be one of those to understand what is going on. But I didn't feel like that at this place, which I appreciate.
That's really cool.
Okay, what else did you do? Where else did you go?
So I also went to Disneyland and California Adventure for the Avengers Campus opening, which was mayhem. And I should have planned better, but in the end it worked out. I got my hat. I really wanted an Avengers hat.
And you got it.
And I got it, and I love this hat.
I like that it's all black.
I like that it's all black, and then it has the A still, but it's kind of subtle. You have to really look at it.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. I got to go with my cousin, his fiance, and his son.
That's really cute.
And honestly, spending the weekend with Lucas, my nephew, he just turned 6. He was 5 going on 6 when we went, and then a week later he turned 6.
Aww.
Was just the most special thing in the world. Getting to experience Disneyland with a child. And he was one of those kids that's super easygoing. He wasn't complaining about the lines. He was never I'm bored. We took him on all of the fun rides. We went to Fantasyland in the last half hour while the park was still open, and went on the teacups. And then we went to Toontown right after that.
I hate Toontown.
Well, Toontown's where you go just to meet the characters.
What characters?
Like the main ones, like Mickey, Donald.
They go to Toontown?
That's where because Mickey and Minnie's house are in Toontown. So you walk through the house, and then at the end of the house, they're sitting there, usually.
I missed that.
So that's what Toontown is. Toontown's really just kind of a place for you to like walk around Toontown. Other than that, we took him on Space Mountain. He went on all the rides. He was tall enough for all of it, except for Indiana Jones. So Indiana Jones, they do this thing called partner switch or parent switch.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so one parent gets in line, and then when they come out, like before you get on the ride, you go to like the attendant, and you scan your ticket so that when you come out of line, you stay with the kid, and your partner goes inside.
Wait, that's so cool.
So you don't have to wait in line all over again.
You don't have to wait in line twice.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
And so you do that with you can do it with a group of people. So like if one day you and I have kids, like, you know, our husbands can go in, we'll stay with the kids, and then we'll go in.
Wait, that's so fun.
And so we did it. And with Indiana Jones, this is something new they're doing if you guys are planning on going to Disneyland anytime soon, is their main attractions, you have to do a virtual queue.
I like that. I really like that.
So the trick is pick your ride. So what we did is we went to Indiana Jones first, because my whole thing is when I go to Disneyland, you either start on one side of the park or the other. You either start with Space Mountain or you start with Indiana Jones and then you go around, right? That's the way to kind of like, I don't know, make it the most effective, whatever.
Right.
So we went to Indiana Jones, so we got to go on we got in line before the virtual queue started. But within 15 minutes... they started telling people like they couldn't get in line. Maybe it was 20.
Wow.
And then they had to get on the virtual queue. So I was in line and got on the virtual queue as well.
Ooh.
And so we got to go on the ride, and then we got to come back at like 11:30 and go again.
So it's like everything is a fast pass.
So there's no fast passes right now. They'll bring fast passes back, but
well, I mean, it's not a fast pass, but no one's sitting in line.
Right. There's no standby line. Yeah. So then you get to explore the rest of the park, right? Which is really nice. I finally got to go on Rise Against the Resistance, and when I tell you, I had no clue what this ride was. You get on like the little mini elevator thing that's like the first part, and I was like, is this the ride? I went into a corner and had like a terrible view. I had no idea what was happening. Right. And then like at the end, I was like, is that it? Like, this was dumb.
That's kind of what I thought too the first time.
I was like, this is what we have a virtual queue for? Like, this was a waste of my time. But then I got like, it was part of the story. And that's what makes that ride stand out from any other ride, is that you immerse yourself into Star Wars
Absolutely.
Life, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're there. And the First Order is there. And that was so cool. I'm just like the kind of person, I say hi to every cast member. I say thank you to every cast member. I'm like, hi, thank you so much. Like, even if they're just standing there, or like, you know, like the ones that are on the custodial staff and like they're picking up trash, I always say thank you to every cast member, because they're working really hard. And a lot of them kind of get ignored or yelled at or whatever. Anyway.
That is true.
Yeah. So I'm trying to say thank you to the First Order cast members, but they're full on in character. And we're supposed to be, what are we? We're prisoners.
Right.
We're their prisoners. And so they're like over there, and they're like being super in character and rude. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. I just had such a blast with that one. And I think that Lucas really liked that one. He was very much like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Everything was brand new. I had no idea what to expect. I did no research. And like, I'm not even a huge Star Wars person, but that was such an experience. But anyway, so we did that. Avengers Campus was really fun. We just kind of walked around towards the end of the day because there was a huge line and it was a whole thing. I think I saw Jessica Alba. I don't know if I did. Jessica Alba, if you were there that
let
weekend.
us know.
Yeah, let us know if you're listening. Can you imagine? Okay, so when you go to Avengers Campus, the characters are there, right? So, which is really cool. And so when I first walked in, the first one I saw was Thor. And I was like, oh, Lucas, look, it's Thor. So I picked him up and put him on this little ledge thing to see Thor without realizing that directly behind me is Black Widow. So then Diana, Rodolfo's fiance, goes, oh, look, and there's Black Widow. So I whip around, and she's like this far away from me, maybe a little further. And I was just like, oh my gosh, hi, sorry, I didn't see you there. She's like, yeah, what's that about? And like, then I just started crying because she was talking to me.
You started crying?
I did. I'm not like bawling, but I got like teary-eyed, and I just like flipped out because I was overwhelmed.
Okay, that's fair. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to go to Disney. I'm
Me too.
wanting to go.
Well, and now I'm trying to go with my parents and my brother.
That'll be fun.
Because David was supposed to come. He couldn't come, though. So I'm trying to go for like Christmas. I'm trying to get my parents and my brother.
So we go for New Year's.
Ooh, fun.
So we go with Chris's family for New Year's.
Nice.
So
like New Year's Day?
Yeah, and then we watch the fireworks at Disney. And the secret, people, my mom found this out. The secret is when the fireworks go off, you know, there's a huge crowd right in front of the castle.
Yeah.
If you go on the Matterhorn, you get a perfect view of the fireworks, and typically they'll just let you keep going because no one's in line because everyone's watching the fireworks, but you get like a perfect view and you're on a ride and you don't have to be in the crowd.
Interesting.
So that's what we do.
That's if Matterhorn's working, because Matterhorn, that thing breaks down
That's
like
true.
3-4 times a day.
You need to tell me one favorite ride in California Adventure and one favorite ride in Disney. Only one.
Easy. Okay, so Disney is, oh gosh, crap. That's hard. I gotta go Space Mountain. I love Indy. Indiana Jones is like a classic for me.
No, just one and done.
I know, but Space Mountain's, okay, Space Mountain's my favorite. And I love Space Mountain.
California Adventure.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Or originally it was called Tower of Terror,
Terror.
because I loved that movie.
Yeah.
But I
So
love
for
Guardians.
me, Disneyland is Paradise Pier in Disneyland, right?
No, that's California. And
So
it's
for
called
California
Pixar Pier
Adventure,
now.
I like the Incredible roller
The
coaster.
Incredible Coaster. Yeah, the
Oh
Incredible
my God,
Coaster.
my favorite.
That one's really fun. I do really like that one too. But I think I love the up and down of Guardians. And the story. What I love about Guardians is now when you go on it, it's there's a different song
Right.
every time you go. There's
It is
slightly
really
different
fun.
scenes. And I just love the up and down of it
I
all.
love it too.
Yeah. Because I think I get what you get out of Incredicoaster in Space Mountain.
So that's Space Mountain is my favorite in Disney.
So you like the roller coasters.
I
Have you ever been to
love
Disney
roller
World?
coasters. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been twice, and I
Did
want to
you-
go again so bad.
The Rock and Roller Coaster?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Where you go and then you go backwards?
It's my favorite.
That's
We should
my
go to
brother's.
Disney World.
I would love to.
I haven't been. So I went at like the Christmas break of my junior year, and then I went again with dance team my senior year, and it was both like, I don't know. I feel like you kind of forget how fun it is.
Yeah,
but I
until you
want to
go.
go again so bad.
Well, and in over at Disney World, Tower of Terror is still Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Which is really fun because I like the whole Twilight Zone thing. Yeah.
Okay, great Disney talk.
Yeah.
But we need to get into today's
Let's
topic.
get into it. Well, did you have another trip that you wanted to talk about?
I went to Los Angeles for Mother's Day.
Yes.
Saw Jack because he lives down there. We had a really nice Mother's Day brunch.
Yeah.
Just went to like fun places. Shared a room with Mary.
Yeah.
We could never live together.
Sure.
And then the next weekend I went to San Diego. Erica, shout out to Erica. She's going to be a guest on our show.
Yes.
Because she's the only person in my family who listens, and I'd love to talk to her about like being a collegiate athlete.
Yeah,
and what that's
totally.
like,
Totally.
especially during COVID.
Ooh, yeah,
So
fascinating.
I'd love to talk to her about that. Erica, I know she listens.
Hi, Erica.
I'll text you. Anyway, so we went down. We hung out with Erica and my Aunt Julie, which was really fun. And
Yeah.
San Diego's so nice.
Yeah.
It makes me like want to move there. And Chris came with us on that one, which was
Nice.
fun. And then I went to Portland, which I already talked about.
Cool.
And then I've gone to the lake a few times. We're going to
Yeah.
the lake next week for 4th of July.
Nice. Yeah, the only other trip I went to is Palm Springs,
yeah.
which was lovely. I stayed by the pool the whole time. I got a little tan. It was really nice. I went with my best friend Jessica, and that was really cool.
So that's the thing about sun tanning. So we get to the lake, and I had driven up Thursday night, and then Friday, Mary's boyfriend Sean had Friday off, and I don't work in the summer, obviously. So Sean and I decided to go rent jet skis Friday morning for 2 hours because we both live for jet skiing. And so we go. We both are very pale. I put on sunscreen like you would not believe, but I got sunburned through the life vest on my legs first day. To the point where my shoulders are just now starting to peel. You can't really see it. But
Ow.
I was the rest of the trip, I was like head to toe in like loose fitting clothing. So then I
Ouch.
reminded myself, never get sunburnt on the first day.
No.
You cannot have that happen because then
No.
it ruins the rest of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what that's like. I don't burn. I burned once. Okay. I like in Brazil, I burned once, but yeah.
So sad.
I know. It was a rough day.
All right, well, let's move on.
Let's move on.
If you're good.
Yeah.
All right,
Do
you
you want to
guys.
talk about our shirts?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about our shirts. You go first because mine will lead into what we're doing.
Well, mine says "Hooray for Hot Cocoa." It's my Amanda Klutz shirt. And
You've talked about it on the podcast
yeah,
before.
so because I have three. I have the "Hooray for Coffee," "Hooray for Jesus," and now I'm wearing my "Hooray for Hot Cocoa." And I'm wearing it because last night my brother came over and I made us hot cocoa and we watched an episode of Justified. And like we haven't really done that in a while.
And hot cocoa is like your comfort drink.
Hot cocoa is our comfort drink because we grew up with it. Like all things are cured by hot cocoa in my household. I'm wearing my hot cocoa shirt in honor of my brother.
So I'm wearing a sweatshirt that says teacher.
Teacher.
I like to like wear this because sometimes you just need like teacher shirts.
Totally.
But the reason I'm wearing it today is not only is it comfortable and I want to feel like I'm in PJs, but I am going to be teaching you guys a lot today.
We're going to be learning. I'm learning with you. I know nothing.
Alini knows nothing, but we are learning about Enneagrams today.
Ooh.
And I feel like I always say it wrong, but I think I'm saying it right.
It sounds right to me.
Enneagram. So what do you think Enneagram means? Like the actual word, not like what an Enneagram is, but the word. Or maybe even like a part like where it's like its origin, maybe.
Okay, when I think Enneagram, I think in terms of I have no idea actually. To me just I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start.
Humor me. Just think of the word Enneagram. What do you think? What does any of it mean to you?
To me, it sounds like a medical test, like a mammogram, or I don't know. It just sounds like a medical exam.
I would not be giving you a mammogram today. Have you ever had a mammogram?
No, thank God, not yet.
Neither have I.
It's too early.
That's right.
Once we turn 40, we have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like at 40, I think you do it like every couple years, and then at like 55, you do it like every
Unless
year.
they need to see you like every year for some reason.
And also depending on family history, like if you have a family history of breast cancer, then you have to do it more
Do you
often.
think it changes if you have breast implants?
Probably, I would assume so.
Because what if you like push, like, because I know they like strap you in and like push it.
They squeeze with
metal things. What if you like popped an implant?
I'm sure that's happened before. I think implants are probably made a little bit more sturdy now and a bit like able to
withstand a mammogram.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah, cool.
Anyways, so Enneagram.
If you know, comment down below.
Yeah, let us know if you know anything about mammograms. Maybe we'll have like a nurse or something. Do you know any nurses?
I do. Jessica's a nurse.
Maybe we can have Jessica on at some time and we can just ask her all the medical questions.
Yeah,
I have.
She has a lot of stories.
I would
she used
love
to call me and tell
me
her stories, and yeah, it's fascinating. She's seen some stuff, dude.
Where does she work?
So she originally was an ER nurse in Oakland.
You see a lot there.
Yeah, it's a lot. But now she's in Ventura. She works at a cath lab, and yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Enneagrams. Enneagram. It's a Greek word.
Oh, it's spelled with an E.
Enneagram.
I was like, I-N-I-gram.
No.
Enneagram.
And so,
or I-N-I-A.
Ennea means 9 in Greek. So, it's a Greek rooted word. And then gram. So, essentially, the Enneagrams of personalities is just 9 interconnected personality types. That's what the Enneagram shows. Now, I'm going to put a pic up for you guys on the screen if you want to see, but I'm going to show Alini.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is this something that's like well received globally, or is it the kind of thing that like people kind of rub it off or not rub it off, like what's the word?
Are you saying is it like astrology?
Exactly.
Or is it, okay.
Is it like your zodiac sign?
Right. So what I've seen that it's been like used for is mostly like workplace, like personality types. And,
Got it.
So like I think like some people use it to like create a better work environment. Some people have used it like spiritually. To me, it seems like it's just more for fun.
Sure.
And like, Ty, are you kidding?
No,
me?
that's Spencer. Yeah.
My understanding is that it's like more just like for fun.
Got it.
And like to understand yourself better and like what your triggers are and like it gives you a lot of information about yourself. Okay, anyways, I drew a little Enneagram and I wanted to show it to Alini and I'll show it to you guys.
Do you know what it looked like at first?
What? It looks like a cult thing.
Yes. It looks like the satanic symbol.
Yes. Okay, yes, it totally.
I mean, it's not because it doesn't close.
But it looks like it.
There's parts of it that resemble that. I like that it's color coordinated though.
Well, I did that just for future. We're gonna get into it.
Cool.
So it's like a bunch of triangles, but like only one of them closes, and they all intersect at different ways. And so there's 9 personality types.
Cool.
That I'm going to talk to you about.
Love it.
Oh, wait. Anyways, let me finish describing what the Enneagram of personalities is.
Please.
It was created by this guy named Oscar Ichazo in the 1950s, and then followed up by Claudio Naranjo in the 70s. They basically came up with it. That's what I found from Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
The rest of it I found from videos from this girl named Abby Howie, Howe. She makes
Thank you, Abby.
a ton of videos about Enneagram. So if you're interested, check out her.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Cool.
So the way she talked about it was that it was like a personality categorizing system. So the little bit like astrology is kind of how I think about it. And there's only 9 types. So you're like, how are there only 9 types of people in the world?
Yeah.
There's an infinite amount of expressions of all the numbers.
Well, I'm sure that there's different levels, right?
Right.
That kind
there
of
is
thing.
levels, actually.
Yeah.
And then like your like top 2 can be super close.
Yeah. This reminds me of a lot of, so when I was in college, in order to do stuff like being an RA and stuff, we had to take a leadership class. And in that leadership class, we took a lot of these types of quizzes.
Right.
We took a strengths and weaknesses quiz. We took a true colors quiz.
Ooh, and I see your true colors.
I always sing that. Shining through.
I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. Thank you.
Don't be
Afraid to let them show your true colors. Millie Gold Pots.
Okay, I was having way too much fun with that.
Beautiful like a rainbow. Okay, anyways, sorry.
Thanks for the musical break.
Banger.
It's such a banger. And but yeah, and then like we did conflict
reminds you of
ones.
that.
Yeah, because I mean the conflict one was so funny because it was like there was animals. There was like an owl, a shark, and like a fox. I was a fox.
Maybe I'll do that at my student council retreat.
You should. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. And I was just gonna say we used it so that we could better understand each other, so we knew how to communicate with one another.
Exactly. That's what I gather that this is for. So there's 9 types. Okay, these are just the basic.
9's a good number.
So, 9.
Sorry.
We got the
Also,
perfectionist.
you say no in German.
I know. I used to say it to Millie. We've got.
That's right, because she's a German Shepherd.
Love that. So we've got the perfectionist, the helper, the performer, the romantic, the investigator, the loyalist, the enthusiast, the challenger, and the peacemaker.
Oof, I'm trying to guess which one I am.
Yeah, so there's a test you can take online. It's $12 to take the test. We put it on our business card.
Yeah.
We both took the test.
Yeah. Producers are taking care of that.
Yeah, the producers are writing checks for us. So, Alini took the test the other day, and I did not tell her the results of mine or hers.
I know nothing.
So, what do you, based off just like the name, which one do you think you are? Or which few do you think you could be?
Either performer or romantic.
Okay.
Or, let me see the other ones. I can see the enthusiast as well.
What do you think I am?
You're either the helper or the peacemaker. Maybe the loyalist. I'm going to go with helper.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
We're going to keep going. So the way
Watch me be so wrong.
the way this circle is broken down, like you can kind of see, I did like the first 3 colors of the rainbow, the next, and then like the blues and whatever. So there's like 3 triads that show like the way you experience life. So like 8, 9, and 1 are driven by anger and express themselves directly. So that's the challenger, the peacemaker, the perfectionist. Then you've got the helper, performer, romantic, and it's the heart triad. And they're driven by feelings. And they're image conscious and are all about how others perceive them. And then you've got 7, 6, 5, enthusiast, loyalist, investigator, who are the head triad. And they're driven by fear and think and plan very carefully.
Oh, that might be you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because you're not angry.
So now we're going to go through.
I'm definitely the heart triad, though.
So do you want to? We're going to go through your results first.
Cool. Let's do it.
And so when you get a result, you get a huge document of
Did you read the whole
information.
document?
Yeah, I did. And I highlighted
You're
what I'm going to share.
amazing. You're amazing. Can you send that to me, please?
Yeah. So basically, you take the test and like you get a score, and you get like a highest score, second highest, third highest, whatever. So your highest score was actually the helper.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was that's your primary personality type. Because,
I guess that makes sense.
But your second one was the enthusiast.
So I was way off. What's my third?
The third was like a tie, and it's like the achiever and the peacemaker. But like those don't
really. So the performer and the romantic weren't in there? Interesting.
No.
Maybe I need to rethink my career once again. I'm just kidding.
Let me tell you about being the helper.
Actually, that makes so much sense right now.
No, you wait. You freaking wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
Also, the helper was my top 2 are tied, and one of them was the helper. So I'm going to kind of go through this with you because they apply to both of us. Mm-hmm. So they call them 2s. Okay,
the 2s.
The 2s.
Okay.
So type 2. These people, they like to feel loved.
True.
To connect with others in a heartfelt way.
True.
They're the most people-oriented type.
Yeah.
They focus on relationship and
Yep.
feel best about themselves when they are meaningfully engaged with others. I was like, this is literally Alini. Healthy twos will be there, throwing themselves into the effort, heart, and soul for anyone. You're genuinely interested in other people's lives and the details of their lives.
That's so true.
At the office, twos would have a bowl of candy, a tin of cookies at their desk, not for themselves, but for anyone who wants to drop by to chat.
Yep.
Because I have that for my students.
I see that.
Twos get into difficulty when they begin to tend to others' needs without adequately dealing with their own. When they're pushing their own feelings aside so much that they're not looking at it, which has definitely happened to me.
Exhibit my last relationship.
And twos can also develop boundary problems, which is the story of my life.
I'm terrible.
So they can
with
disregard
boundaries.
their own boundaries, doing
Yes.
things for others that take away from what they need to do for themselves.
Oh, 100%.
And
100%.
Yeah. No, totally. And so when others feel crowded by like us, trying to help, and they would someone would try to set boundaries with us, we can feel hurt and insecure about the relationship because we feel rejected.
Oh my God, yes.
How real is that? How real is that?
Oh, okay.
I am thinking of so many friendships of yours and mine where that has
100%.
happened.
Yeah.
When twos doubt that others want them, they double their efforts to win people over.
Which never works because they're like, stay away from me, you cray.
Nope. They get caught up with people pleasing and integrating
Yeah.
themselves with others, looking for things to do and say that will make people like them. Relating with people becomes a full-time job, constantly making new friends while maintaining a network of old friends. Talking about the relationship with people becomes a habit. Twos continually seek reassurance from their friendships.
You're the only one I don't do that with.
Well,
At
that's
least
because
now.
it is secure and on track.
Yeah, I guess I don't need to.
Yeah.
We just communicate so well.
And maybe because we're both twos.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah.
So anyways, they want others to see them as their best friend. They like to give personal advice, share special secrets and intimacies.
Oh my gosh, Katie,
do
you understand how true this is?
Yes.
Last night, I literally was speaking to a practical stranger on her breakup. Holly was like, why aren't you like a therapist? I was like, I don't know.
I just like it.
But literally, I was genuinely engaged in what she had to say and everything she was going through and trying to offer help and support. And I texted her this morning to see if she was doing okay. Because I'm like, let's be friends.
Oh my God.
This is me.
So your hidden side. The hidden side of it too.
Oh, yes.
Although on the surface, twos appear to feel at ease with others and to be a source of emotional sustenance for people in their lives, they also suffer from well-hidden feelings of rejection.
Is it really well hidden though?
Twos expect people to not want them around. And they often feel that they need to be extraordinarily kind and supportive to get those people to accept and love them.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna cry. This is so real.
I know. You're bringing up all my trauma.
I know. Twos often feels that others are not appreciating them for their efforts, thus rekindling feelings of rejection.
Yeah.
You have friendships like that, relationships like that.
Yeah.
So here are some relationship issues. What?
I was just going to say, one thing that I do often is I'll walk away from a friendship or a relationship and still feel rejected.
Right.
I'm the one that puts up a boundary and is like, I can't do this. But the fact that they didn't fight for me or try to make it find a resolution makes me feel rejected.
I feel the same exact way.
Oh, God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
So here are some relationship issues.
Is there a way to change your number? Can I be something else? Can I work on myself to
as
become...
people grow and change, yeah.
I guess that's fair.
So in relationships, twos can go overboard with their efforts to be close to their loved one.
Yeah.
Trying too hard to please, hovering, expecting mind reading from their partner. I have done that in the past 100%.
I think I did that when I was younger. I don't anymore.
Yeah,
I think I'm very much about
younger.
this is what I need.
Mm-hmm. Becoming possessive of the partner. I did that when I was younger.
I did that when I was younger.
Not acknowledging personal hurts, needs, and anger until they become damaging to the relationship.
Yeah, I did that when I was younger too.
So the passion, the thing that drives you is pride. They want to, you feel like you can only be loved if you're available to tend to the needs of others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like people will value me and want to keep me around if I can help them feel better about themselves.
Mm-hmm. So you take pride in helping others.
I do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a helper.
So at your best, twos are sincere and warm-hearted, with immense goodwill and enormous generosity of spirit, an extraordinary ability to feel things and the needs of others, empathetic, know others' sorrows, and this motivates them to go out of their way. You don't wait around for a loving response in order to feel lovable. So I feel like you're getting to like that best point.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. I've kind of gone to the healthier side of being a 2.
Yeah, where like you're not waiting for that reciprocation of love.
Right.
To
I'm
feel
able
like
to
you're
just
worthy.
give and be like, you either appreciate it or you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like put this link on my resume. Be like, this is me.
This is me. So some examples of other type 2s. They have like famous people examples.
Oh, tell me.
Well, but first I want to tell you the gift of God that you're sharing with others because of this gift. You reflect the love and nurture of God to others. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So speaking of God,
I feel like that's
the first
really
example of type 2 is Pope John the 23rd.
Oh, I'm not familiar with him.
I don't, same.
I thought you were going to say Pope John Paul II. I was going to be like,
God.
score.
You've got Guru Amanji, who is known as the Hugging Saint. Not in the Catholic faith.
Sure.
But, Eleanor Roosevelt, Nancy Reagan, Monica Lewinsky, Richard Simmons, Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Barry Manilow, Dolly Parton, Josh Groban, Paula Abdul.
Oh, wait, back up. Josh Groban? I adore Josh Groban.
Paula Abdul and Priscilla Presley.
Priscilla Presley. That's Elvis Presley's daughter. I want to know more about the enthusiast, though, because I definitely see myself as a helper, but I'm trying to see where, like, that, well, and maybe what I thought was romantic was more just like my desire for love and to share love,
and that's
which is
definitely
the helper.
So let me tell you about the enthusiast. When I was reading these for you, I was like, I think you are naturally the helper, but you do have moments of being the enthusiast.
Okay, cool. Tell me.
So generally, the enthusiast is excitable, spontaneous, curious, optimistic, eager, outgoing, future-oriented, adventurous, variety-seeking, quick, and talkative. So I was like, yeah, that's Alini.
Yeah.
7, like, you would get into conflicts by being scattered, distracted, restless, impatient, thrill-seeking, escapist.
Oh, escapist.
Overextended.
Yeah.
Demanding and excessive. At their best, 7s are appreciative, bountiful, thoughtful, accomplished, versatile, receptive, grateful.
Tell me what's a 7 at their worst.
A 7 at their worst. Well, let's talk about the hidden sign.
Mm-hmm.
So the hidden sign is that they like to convince themselves and everyone else that they're always feeling good and having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
Of course, the truth is often different. 7s, like all humans, are vulnerable to anxiety, depression, loneliness, and other feelings. At times, 7s sincerely want to tell others how they actually feel, but they often feel compelled to keep spirits high, even if privately they are miserable themselves. I feel like you've moved out of that, but you've been there.
Yes. Actually, I was just saying that so my trip to Palm Springs was really telling, because usually when I go on a trip like something like that, I feel this need to be the life of the party, to be like, okay, guys, like, what are we doing next? Like putting on this like complete like energetic front.
Yep.
But I didn't. Like the entire time, like if I felt energetic, I would be energetic. If I felt like I'm just going to lay here and like not talk, I'm going to lay here and not talk. Like I didn't force myself to be a certain way or feel a certain way in order to maintain whatever kind of peace I thought I needed to, and it was beautiful, and it was very true to like, this is what I'm feeling. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not,
right,
and I'm not going to be afraid that if I don't present myself as energetic,
that you won't still be loved.
Exactly, and that's what if like I become a burden, I won't be loved.
So I think you still kind of have both.
Yeah.
Also, 7 struggle with the fear of not being taken seriously.
Ooh, yeah.
And a sense that others will misinterpret their positive approach to life as a lack of feeling or depth. Mm-hmm. In private, 7 struggle with loneliness, grief, and self-doubt, and are prone to depression. Most of all, 7s fear a gnawing feeling that they will never really get what they truly want in life.
Oof. Yep.
So they settle for other pleasures that they hope will make them happy enough, or at least pleasantly distracted from the more painful disappointments of their lives.
That was me in my 20s, like my entire
dark.
20s.
Relationship issues.
Oh, yeah.
Becoming so involved with expressing their thoughts and ideas that they don't really listen to others.
Okay.
Being impatient or critical of slower pace. I don't think you're like that.
No.
Getting flighty or seeking distractions when important relationship challenges arise.
100%.
Fearing that others will not support them if they are down or depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Expecting the partner to provide gratification, entertainment, or support immediately on demand. I don't know about that. Being unwilling to make commitments. Passion is gluttony. So they want to enjoy life as much as they can. You're driven by getting the most out of life.
Yeah, I think that's true. Interesting.
I think those pretty much do describe you.
They're pretty spot on.
Okay, so I'm a 6. The loyalist is what it is.
I thought, like, are you a loyalist? I was like, no. Are you? I was obviously not great at...
So my tie was the 6 and the 2.
As a type 6, you have the desire to create a stable, safe environment, to cooperate and create with others, and to be adequately prepared for the various difficulties that life presents.
Is that not so real?
If I was going to write a sentence about you, I should just write that.
That should be like my description written on my forehead.
Desires to create a stable, safe environment and to cooperate and create with others and to be adequately prepared for the various difficulties that life presents. Boom.
It's so true.
You're meticulous, disciplined, and persevering. Very true. You're good with details. You organize resources.
You know, and that's the thing is I never thought I was good with details, but when I started working with like people in the diocese and like with you, people were like, "No, Katie, you're very detail oriented."
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. Organize resources, prioritize tasks, see projects through. Yes. Mm-hmm. You're not necessarily group people, but you like the feeling of belonging somewhere. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Is that not the truest thing about me?
You want to belong, but you don't necessarily need to be a part of a group. You just want to belong to the people that you see important.
Yep.
You approach others as if to say, I am here for you. You can count on me. 100%.
Oh, thanks.
You are solid and responsible. Yes. You're troubled by an undercurrent of doubt and anxiety. 6s often seem a bit jittery and uneasy in general.
Is that not so real?
Yes. They live in a state of worry and then find something to worry about. They scan their surroundings for problems, expecting that something negative could happen at any time.
So, the scanning thing.
Yeah.
Every time I'm at dinner or like out, especially with Chris, because we go out to dinner a lot, or I don't know if you've noticed.
I do.
But I'm always like looking around. Like, like sometimes like people will even be like, what are you looking at? And I'm like,
I look around it too, but you and I look around for different reasons.
Why do you
look around because I'm interested in who's around me and like what their story is and trying to like suss them out and like which because I'm the person to be like, oh, they're on a first date, or like I notice what people are like, what they are, where they are in life, right? Because I'm interested in people, which is why I look at faces, which is why I recognize people. Where it's like you are looking around because you're like, what's a threat?
Yes. I'm like looking for an exit. I'm looking for like what's a threat. I'm like making plans in my head. Like if X happens, I'll go here. If I have a panic attack, I'll go here. Yeah. If, you know, someone walks in with I'll go here. Like anywhere I go, I'm always scanning, and every time a new person walks up, I look at them. Yeah. To like analyze a threat almost. Like I feel like I have goggles on that's like analyzing threat.
I feel like you're also the kind of person where it's like if a cop was like, oh, did you see anything suspicious? You'd be like, I saw this person. They were wearing this, 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 and this, and their hair was like this. Like you could you could give details to like, you would be the best witness because you take note of all of that. And because you're assessing threat, you keep like, you store that.
But the thing is, then it also causes me to like quickly judge and make decisions off it. Yeah. So the time that came into play, I feel like I'm comfortable sharing this. Don't judge me. I know it was wrong. We were on an airplane. My parents and I were flying to LA, and my parents did not book seats with me. It was a whole drama. And so I was sitting next to a stranger, and I walked in, and it was like a pre-boarded elderly man. And, you know, he didn't look well. Like he had like a cane and like a walker and everything. And immediately my anxiety went up. And I was texting my parents. I was like, what if something happens to him during the flight? I can't resuscitate him. I can't be responsible for this man if something bad happens. Like, what if we have a crash landing and I can't help him get off the plane? That was literally what I thought the second I saw him. And then my dad's like, I'll switch seats with you. And then genuinely, it was so like much of a story in my head that I literally thought my dad was going to have to help this man during the flight. And obviously nothing happened. But it was like, I saw that and I was like, I can't help him if something happens. I'll get too anxious if he chokes, if he I don't know if he has a seizure. I mean, that
Worst
was
case scenario
where my
type
mind
stuff.
went in a matter of probably 5 seconds of me walking on the plane, seeing my seat, seeing him, thinking that.
Interesting.
And I know that's fucked up.
I don't know. I don't think that's. I don't think that's effed up. I think that it kind of makes sense because what you're seeing is if this was the worst case scenario, especially because you're already anxious about planes.
Right.
So you're walking in with a level of anxiety already. And then adding on top of that, like, you're going to have your own anxiety. You can't take care of someone else, which is what other people might expect from someone sitting next to you, even though that's not your responsibility.
Right.
Like, the most you would have to do is, like, call for a doctor.
Well, because
right?
my parents kept saying, like, nothing's going to happen, and even if something does, it's not your responsibility.
Right. But
because I also have the helper.
Exactly. You
I
would
feel
the
like
need,
it is.
You would have to do that. Like, you would have to step up in some way if there was an issue. And you know yourself well. I think it's kind of self-aware. You know yourself well enough to know that, like, your anxiety level couldn't handle it.
Well, especially because I was flying, which gives me anxiety, like intense anxiety. And I couldn't take, like, at that point, any little thing would have put me over the edge.
Yeah.
Like, if he would have coughed, I would have been like, are you okay? So, anyways, yeah, you can continue, but that one is just really true.
Scan their surroundings for problems, expecting that something negative could happen. Generally cautious in dealing with others. There is almost no limit to their loyalty or the sacrifices that sixes will make for the sake of the trusted person. You're incredibly loyal. I think that's probably why you and I get along so well is that, like, once we're committed to our friendship, like, we're in.
Right.
Like, there's no, like, oh, I don't know. Like, no, we're
like,
in.
even people,
we're locked in.
Like, even people I've drifted away from who, like, haven't necessarily reached out to me, I would still...
In a heartbeat.
If
their name popped up on my phone, what do you need? Where am I going? What's happening?
And if they called me, I would answer. Like, I'm not the type to, like, ignore that.
No.
And it's hard, as you know, to be like that. Because then you go to the helper where your feelings get hurt because you don't feel loved because the person isn't responding. But because we're so loyal and because we crave that connection, it's hard because it feels like a rejection.
Right.
Anyways.
Even though they don't see it that way. But yeah. Okay. Where did I leave off? Find it difficult to leave a relationship once they have begun to trust someone and rely on them. That's so true. We have a hard time walking away from people. Like,
absolutely.
We will always, and it goes back to, like, putting up boundaries. Like, because we're not going to walk away from them, we try to put up boundaries, but, like, I'm terrible. I think you're much better at boundaries. You're much better at putting up boundaries. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Or maybe we're just good at boundaries with each other then.
Yeah, because who knows?
You're great with boundaries with me.
Yeah.
And I think I'm really great at respecting your boundaries, but I think that, I'm terrible at boundaries. Okay, anyway. By supporting the other person in every way you can, especially by being reliable and trustworthy. Oh, sorry. You show your affection, you show your trust and affection by supporting the other person in every way you can. Yeah, that's true. You're relaxed. They are natural talent for engaging people or finding common interests. That's so true. When you approach a person, you're very relaxed, even though, like...
Inside, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, but, like, you make people feel at ease when you're asking them, like, questions? And, like, finding common interests. That's so true.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Get others to like you by joking around and bantering through other forms of physical and social bonding. That's so true. They tend to get nervous in situations in which they do not know where others stand, where there are too many unknowns, too many unfamiliar elements. 100%.
That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel like at parties. Like when Isabel and I went to like Jocelyn's party, that's why I like locked on to Isabel and I was because you can make friends.
Yeah.
I can have a productive conversation with people like you said, but because it was so unfamiliar, I was terrified.
Right. And you knew nobody except for Jocelyn, me, and Isabel.
Right.
And Jocelyn was off because she knows everybody. I was off meeting everybody because I'm fascinated by meeting strangers.
And then at least Isabel and I had each other, and I was like, okay. Anyways.
You do not really trust yourself. They do not really trust themselves.
I always, especially when I was really anxious, I would always rely on other people to, like, tell me I was okay. Mm-hmm. It's, like, only until I've, like, sorted some stuff out over, like, the past year and a half of being more independent that's changed.
Yeah.
But I used to be heavily dependent. On other people because I don't trust myself. For a while I couldn't trust my emotions. I never knew how I would feel at any time and I could trust myself again because my emotions became regulated instead of like, I don't know how I'm going to feel, which spiked my anxiety in almost any situation besides being at home.
It was like this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, next. So the more self-doubting and insecure you become, the more you rely on others for confidence.
Which is true.
Yeah. They will keep bouncing back and forth between depending on others and trying to prove that they are tough and independent. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Isn't that so true?
I 100% see that for you. I think recently there's a little bit less back and forth for you. I think that you've grown to the point where you don't have as much. Can you mute your mic?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There's less back and forth for you because I think that you are on this really good like snowball effect of like being more and more independent.
Right.
And you allow yourself to check in with others and allow yourself to not depend, but be vulnerable without needing to depend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
6s tend to collapse into their anxiety more often, feeling fearful, anxious, dependent, and often seeking support from others. They're called the phobic 6s. Other 6s are more apt to impulsively leap into activities connected with their fears, such as a person with a fear of heights who decides to take up rock climbing. I don't think that's you.
Not me.
That's the counterphobic 6s.
Yeah.
So you can be a phobic 6 or a counterphobic 6. A 6 might be phobic around her boss, for instance, but behave counterphobically with her spouse. Oh, so I guess you can go back and forth depending on your life.
I don't think I do, but yeah.
In brief, 6s want to have security. Yes. Feel supported. Yes. To have certitude and reassurance. Yeah, you want to be certain.
Yeah.
You have a hard time with uncertainties.
I do.
Fight against anxiety and insecurity. You do not want to feel abandoned.
No.
And to feel pressured. And to have to accept new ideas rapidly. You don't want to work with people who you feel are not carrying their weight.
Yeah. And then what's the hidden side?
The hidden side are trying to calm their inner anxieties by trying to make their external world feel trouble-free and predictable. Yeah. Everything has its place. Yep. Everything is in a routine.
Very much routine.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like being a teacher because it's a very routine job.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
every
there's
day.
Variables, but like every day looks the same.
Right. Well, and you have to have a routine in order to have a manageable classroom.
Right.
Real source of anxiety for 6s is internal and perpetuated by their constantly returning thoughts. Cannot stop second-guessing themselves, doubting what they know, and consulting what amounts to an inner committee of contrary voices.
Yeah, just like constantly thinking, is this the right choice? Is this the right decision? Where did I mess up today? Like,
yeah. With their minds revved up in a hyper-vigilant state, it is almost impossible for 6s to relax so that they can perceive clearly how to attend to the actual challenges they need to address at any given time. What 6s really need is more inner quiet.
Absolutely, 100%.
But you've been taking care of yourself and giving that to yourself.
Yeah, I've tried to, yeah.
Yeah, like with your bath times, your alone time. Okay, relationship issues.
I starred one because I was like, yeah.
I can't tell which one, though, because it's a big star. Testing the other person to see if he or she is going to stay.
Okay, that was me when we were in high school.
Yes, 100%. Getting overcommitted.
Yeah.
You put a lot on your plate.
Yep.
Either clamming up and not expressing their feelings or venting a stream of anxieties. Yes. 100%. 100%.
I know, I'm one or the other.
You're one or the other. Yeah. 100%. Alternating between feeling dependent and needy at one extreme and feeling defiant and rebellious at the other.
Yep.
Easily becoming suspicious, reflexively doubting the goodwill of others toward them. I think you're a little bit better at that with the people you trust. Maybe like external people, you're like, what are your intentions?
Exactly.
Blaming people for the 6's own anxieties and projecting negative motivations.
So definitely when I didn't have my mental health figured out, I would always try to pin my anxiety on something else. I was like, oh, it's because you're doing this.
Totally. Okay. Type compatibility. The passion. Angst. Traditionally, fear.
Yep.
The passion of the 6 is often described as fear, but fear is an organic response to a real danger in our environment. All types experience fear. Angst, on the other hand, is the emotional experience of existential fear or unspecified anxiety that comes from absence of a sense of support and guidance. Okay, cool.
Again, that could be my bio. I think if I change my Instagram bio to I'm a type 6, tread lightly.
I love that. Habitually on the lookout for potential disasters with the result that their minds are consistently agitated. Interesting. I think you would have made a really good nurse because you would have been able to foresee potential, like, medication, like.
Wasn't there like a part of that on like the SAT or the ACT where it told you what you would be good at? There was some, actually maybe it was like a test I took in high school.
Yeah, there's a vocations test that they give you.
They told me a nurse or a social worker.
I don't remember what I was told.
Probably an actress.
I don't know. Probably a therapist, to be honest, but
That's true.
Anyway, whatever. Where do we laugh? The passion of type 6 can also be experienced as doubt. At your best, you are able to elicit strong emotional responses from others, 100% true. Engaging, friendly, and playful, truly likable, dependable people.
I hope I'm that.
You 100% are.
Oh, thanks.
You bring a sense of trust and camaraderie to their relationships and treat everyone, including themselves, as an equal. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, you treat everyone as an equal.
I appreciate that.
Everyone is just like, they are who they are, and they are your equal.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Committed and loyal, yes. You work hard to build stability, security, and prosperity in your home, job, and community. Yeah.
Big time stability. I did some research. Thank you for reading that. Now
You're
that we
so
both
welcome.
know what we are.
Yes.
I watched a video of a type 6 and a type 2 in a relationship.
Ooh, tell me more.
And this was one that woman, Abby, did. So I would highly recommend. She like interviews couples who are different types.
Got it.
And like how they interact.
Can a person can two people of the same type ever make it?
It says that like when it says like type compatibility, I like looked it up. And it was like anyone is compatible with anyone. You just have to recognize each other's strengths and weaknesses and make efforts to work together towards it. So,
Gotcha.
Okay, so type 2, like in this specific thing, that's where I found out like reflect love and nurture of God. And the type 2 was empathetic to the partner, consistent, loyal. And then the type 6 partner, which was the husband, she said that that reflects the faithfulness and courage of God. So the 6 showed the 2 deep devotion and commitment, always had a plan. So like the 2 didn't have to worry about a plan. But like if the 2 had a dream, the 6 would like put it into action, which I think is so true.
That is so true. I remember you were the first person I told about some of my big dreams, and you were like, "Okay, cool, let's make it happen." And it was never like,
I was like, "Yeah, so what do you do?"
Yeah, you're like, "Okay, what's next?" And then you helped me take the next step.
Right, and like you help me. Not only do you listen to me and you're empathetic if I'm like freaking out, but also you're like more spontaneous than I am. Like I would have not gone to New York, but because you were like, let's go to New York, I was like, great, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and you knew how important it was for me to go, so you're like, okay, let's make it happen.
Very true.
Yeah.
So that's the Enneagram.
Wow.
How do you feel?
I feel very seen.
Yeah, do you feel understood? That's how I feel. I feel like I'm understood and like it makes sense. Like I'm not crazy.
100% you're not crazy.
Like other people are like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to read the famous people who are like me.
Oh, yes. I want to know who's
that's
like
my
you.
favorite part is the famous people.
Yeah, obviously me too.
So, Mark Twain.
Ooh, okay.
Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
Richard Nixon.
Oh, no. I was Nancy Reagan.
Oh, I thought it was Nixon too.
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy.
Okay.
Malcolm X.
Okay.
George H.W. Bush.
Okay.
Princess Diana. Prince Harry.
That makes sense.
Marilyn Monroe.
Ooh.
Bruce Springsteen.
Love.
I'm just Eminem.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's so cool.
Did I say Marilyn Monroe?
You did.
Robert De Niro.
Oh, yay.
Mark Wahlberg.
Cool.
Woody Allen. Diane
Okay.
Keaton.
Diane
Mel
Keaton.
Gibson.
Mel.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, I love Tom.
Julia Roberts. Jennifer Aniston.
Woo!
Ellen Page.
Elliot Page now?
No, Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Who's Paul Rudd? That sounds familiar.
It's Ant-Man. It's Paul Rudd.
Oh.
It's oh my gosh, I totally see that for Paul Rudd. Oh my gosh, that's
And
so
then you've
funny.
got Sarah Jessica Parker.
Paul Rudd is like king of banter.
Is he really?
Yes.
Yeah. Ben Affleck. Who else I
Affleck?
know? Katie Holmes. David Letterman. Jay Leno. Ellen.
That was really fun. Thanks, Katie.
So that's the Enneagram. So if you guys want to take the test and let us know what you are. But if you already know what you are, I'm going to put a post on Instagram.
That's so fascinating.
And
I see how Enneagrams is very different from astrology.
It gives you so much
Because
more detail.
Enneagrams is more about like internal things, where it's like I think astrology is more about like, oh, because of this, like you're going to predict your future, or like when the moon and stuff. And like maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe it. I think it can be dangerous to try to live your life and predict your future at all times. But
I think if anything, this just like made me feel understood.
Exactly.
It helped me understand myself.
Yeah. Well, and I think it helps us communicate like, and I think that a lot of the stuff that we're reading is stuff that we feel shame for.
Yes.
Instead of being like, well, why am I feeling shame for something that's just like naturally part of me? Like,
right.
Instead of feeling shame, it's like, this is understanding myself so I can put up boundaries so that I can communicate better and let the people around me know what my needs are.
Right. And I'll send you yours because there is a part where it's like best self, like worst self kind of. It's like a level thing and they have levels in between and stuff. So I think it's really helpful to know like what the best version of myself can be instead of having goals of like the best version of someone else that I'm striving to be.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, how do we be What was your second? Or are you just 100%
No, I was a tie between the helper and the...
Oh, that's right. The helper and the loyalist. That's right.
So we kind of did the helper for you.
Yeah.
I was a legit tie.
I see that. I see that for you. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. Again, let us know if you do this or if you take the test or if you already know or what you thought about it.
Yeah, please let us know.
Yeah.
That was fascinating.
I thought it was fascinating, too.
Yay.
Okay, cool. Well,
thanks, friends.
Hopefully I will have this up in the next 2 hours. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
And
this was a long one.
It was a long one, but we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
All right, thanks for watching, friends. Bye.
Bye.